Hello. Alright. Okay. What's up, heaps? How are you, wild ones? Are we good? Are we good? I believe we're good. Hold on. Let me hit a yes. Okay. Alright. So, this is why you settle. Did you read the post? Are you with me? Are you kind of tracking what we are putting down on today's live stream? Because if you missed yesterday, wait, was it yesterday's post? I think so. If you missed yesterday's post, I'll give you a quick recap and an invitation to go even deeper. So we settle. And I don't mean we as in just, those of us here on a human experience and all that. I mean, yeah, sure. But specifically, I'm talking about us. Those of us who know that we are here for the fucking wilds, and we know that we are here for the depths, and we know that we are here for stepping in and dropping into all of the things that completely and fully and utterly turn on our fucking souls. This is who I'm speaking to. If you are here, you know that you are one of us. You are one of the beings who is being made manifest in form, and you can't not wait, right? Like, you can't not do what you came here to do. You can't not be who you came here to be. This is who this is for, right? When I say that we settle, I'm talking to us. I'm not talking to everyone. I'm not talking to the big wide freaking field of consciousness exploring itself in physical form. I'm talking specifically to us, the wild ones, the soul refugees, the multidimensional messengers. Like, you know that your experience of this whole life thing is to really facilitate and bring about depth, change, revolution, turn on, liberation, like all of the things. Your art, your message, your love, your sex, your words, like the evocation that you are is one of liberation, is one of pleasure, is one of love, right? I'm not talking about, everyone is just kind of human nature and sometimes we settle for less than we are. I'm talking specifically to those of us who know, like, we feel the thing inside, we feel it, like we feel it into our fucking bones, and we feel it and we know that it is us. And yet, there are moments, perhaps this is one of these moments for you, right? There are moments where we find ourselves falling back into a state of genuflecting at ye old muggle dick yet again. If you are new with me, you have not heard me talk about this. I've been talking about this for years, but the muggle dick matrix, and we're about to have, oh my god, I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. But there's something coming out around the muggle dick matrix, the MDM. I cannot wait to share with you. Actually, we have a few things, but I cannot wait to share with you. I'm not talking about it publicly yet, although I just did, but I'm not actually talking about it publicly yet. But muggle dickery, muggle dick games, all of the things. When we are going back into a way of showing up to our life where we are genuflecting at the muggle dick, at the head of the muggle dick, we are sucking and swallowing down that which we know we are not. The encodings, the conditioning, the ways that other people say that we need to be in order to be successful, in order to belong, in order to be sick. Did we say successful? Apparently that's all in the mind right now. In order to be loved, in order to be safe, in order to whatever the fuck it is, right? When we are back playing these muggle dick games with ourselves, we are pretending, we are in the falsehood of self. We are pretending that we are less than we damn well know that we are. If you are in a state where you know that you are not living into the truth of you, you know that you are not living into the wilds of you, you know that you are not living into the turn on of you, right? This is when we're back to the muggle dickery. We're playing muggle dick games with ourselves. We're telling ourselves we're not worthy. We're telling ourselves that our art is not worthy of whatever it is that we know we're being called into, right? That we can't have the relationships and the money, that we can't have the sex and the God, that we can't have the full expression and be safe, right? Whatever the things are that we're telling ourselves, we are sucking and shucking and swallowing down the things that we know are not our truth and the things that we know, if we continue living into them, that they will become our life. They will become our life. If you're living into it right now, if that is the evocation of you, then that is your life right now. Does this make sense? And so I'm going to invite you to really begin to play, to explore, to breathe into what else is here for me, right? Like if I wasn't in a state, if I wasn't in a place, if I wasn't in a habituated pattern of reality looping of what I can't be, of what I shouldn't be, of the things that don't work for me, then what would this moment become? Then what would this moment be for? Then what would I allow myself to say yes to become the embodied evocation of in the instantaneous now? Not someday. Not someday. We're in the full pussy preaching right now. Not someday, not one day, not out in never land, but right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. What would you become the yes to? Not what would you just say yes to. What would you become the yes to? We need water. Are you with me? Are you with me? Type in the chat. I have no idea who's here. Please say what's up. Tell me, who is here? Give me some names, drop me some names. Say, yes, I feel this. No, I do not. I feel this, but maybe I don't want to feel this because I don't want to be in that state. Tell me all the things. Type in all the things. Yes? Yes. Tell your friends. Bring them along. We're going to be playing all the, we're going to be dropping into all the wild things in the vortex, the vortices, the vortices and the voids and all of the things. Okay, I don't see anything. Ooh, wait, hold on. Hello, my love. Oh, it's so beautiful to see you. Oh my God, how are you? How are you? I say see you, but do you know what I'm saying, right? Right. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm gonna tell you yes to the vortices. It's like, right? All of the things, right? All of the things. Okay, where were we? Down the rabbit hole, of course. Down the rabbit hole, as always, as we should be, as it will be, as is the way. As is the way. Okay, so when you know that you are being called into something deeper, raw, wilder, deeper, this is what I call it, raw, wilder, deeper. This is the question, this is the inquiry that I play with in myself, for myself, as myself. When I'm questioning the things, when I'm like, oh, what is it? Is this? Oh, like, oh my, I don't know. Like, we're being called, but should it be the today? Should it be the now? Should it be this way? Should whatever, right? Does this take me? Does this help me to also, right, guide, evoke, draw, provocate with my soul peeps? Raw, wilder, and deeper, right? Do we go raw, wilder, and deeper into the everything, into that which we know that we are? If it's a yes, then yes. If it's a I'm not quite sure, then do we need to drop into the pause? Do we need to be like, all right, like we just put this on, put this in somewhere, I don't know, but we're going into the things that we already know that we know that are here for us? And if it's a no, then okay, then what's the medicine? Why is this here? Because if it's no to going raw, wilder, and deeper into the fucking wilds, into the everything, and it's still showing up. It's showing up for a reason. It's showing up as the medicine. It's showing up as the portal in order for, right, any lens that I'm holding, any lens that I'm feeling in a collective holding, right? Oh, hello, Kanta. Anything, I'm so glad that you are. Anything that we are seeing through, anything that we are potentially not seeing through, the way that we are coloring, right? That we are coloring our lens of perception, it's showing up so that we can clean the lens, so that we can clear the lens, so that we can allow ourselves to see clearly, to fully drop in, right? In yoga, we learn about and we study about, right, that lens, right, the dirty window. And are you actually seeing true, or are you seeing through that dirty window pane, right? Are you seeing your life through clean, clear glass, or are you seeing through all of the layers and the elements and everything that had been kind of piled on, whether that was stuff that you piled on, whether that was stuff that other people piled on that you still haven't cleaned off? Whatever it is. So this is an invitation into the clear seeing, and so whatever is showing up, that is the no, right? That does not take us raw, wilder, and deeper, and we know it. Fucking know it. I know that you know, because I know that I know it. I know that we know it, right? It's here as the medicine. Yes, it is here as the medicine. And so we also get to use it. We get to pour into it. We get to pour not into in the way, and I know a lot of the whitewashed and feminized, not feminized, the whitewashed feminized, if that could be a word, the colonized ideations of manifestation, of like how to actually be with our energy. There's a lot of teaching and also a lot of the very the patriarchal and like this disembodied masculine way of being with manifestation, with creation energy, with sexual energy and sexual energy transmutation. It's like you can't even pay attention to this stuff because if you do, then you're going to bring more about it. And so just like pretend it's not here. I don't feel this way. I don't think this thing is not showing up for me to be cleaned and cleansed and cleared. No. And then you can go into this bypassy type of energy that actually is not in service to anything or anyone. Yes? Yes, water. Okay. So when we know that we're being called into the truth, into the wild, into the vortices, into all of it, we get to notice, okay, well, where am I stopping that? And where am I only going in as far as my conditioning tells me is safe, as far as my conditioning tells me will get the thing that I want, will help me to achieve, right? Where am I only going as deep as I believe I can go without consequence, without the inevitability of consequence. If you've oh God, I think it was a blog post, maybe from last month or a few months ago, probably a few months ago, about like the inevitability of consequence versus the inevitability of soul, right? This is where you get to notice where you are only going so deep, so raw, so wild, because you're believing that the inevitability of consequence is the given, it is the inevitable, like that the consequence is the thing that's going to happen if you say yes and if you keep going, right? And so it can be easy, not easy on us, like I'm gonna just fucking rusty dagger into your heart every time you do this. And yet it can sometimes seem easier, or we can pretend that it seems easier, to only dip in our toes and only go in so deep, or to be like this full fucking yes, and you're like, oh my God, this is everything, this is everything, this is everything, this is everything, and you become, or excuse me, and you say yes, and then you stop. Like you're the yes for a week. You're the yes maybe for like 6 months, maybe, right? Maybe, but then you go into that boomerang effect that we talked about. Was that last week? I think so. On our last live stream, as if we've been back to live streaming for so long that I'm like, when was the last live stream? It was a week ago. The only one that we've done publicly, and now, and who knows how long. It was last week. But on that last one, we were talking about the boomerang. If you missed that last one, I highly invite you to drop in with it. And so if you notice that you're in a state where you are only going in, or you're going in and it feels like you're all in, it feels like you're going into the depths, and yet and still you find that you keep backing away, you find that you keep backing down on soul, you're not holding the line on soul, you're showing up to soul, but you only show up temporarily, right? You're showing up, hello Sonali, you're only showing up temporarily, right? And so this is an invitation to actually show the fuck up and show the fuck out and continue doing it. And it becomes you because it was always you. It was never not you, that you show up to soul. You show up to soul and you hold the line on soul. You do not show up and then you know, okay, and you back away and you back down and you give up and you tuck tail and you run back and you start sucking the mother dick yet again, right? No, this is an invitation to look, to see, to feel, to experience, to scent track where you know that you are being called to come all the way in, to fully fucking submerge yourself as that which you see inside, as that which you know is here for you, as that which you remember and can feel on like freaking multi-dimensional levels, and yet the physical realm seems to be the place that you keep stopping it, that you keep holding yourself from allowing it to become the physically embodied manifestation of that which you know that you are. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Yes? Yes? I'm going to assume yes. Does this make sense? I will keep going, but yeah, please let me know. And water. Okay, I'm going to assume yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, when we're in a state where we know that we're being called to go deeper, wait, damn it, Ramani? Damn it, why do I do this to myself? One or two? Ramani? Ramani, I feel like it's one, but then it could also be two. Okay, please tell me one or two. All right, so when we're in a state and we know that we're being called into the depths and we are not seeing it, one, thank God. Jeez Louise. I feel like I've created a reality loop with your name now. Okay, so when we know that we're being called and we are not allowing ourselves to experience it ongoing, right? You can use words. I feel like when I say this, please know I mean this more on an ecological land, like life way, not in the kind of like bro marketing speak way. But I'm talking about sustainability, right? I'm talking about you being so able, so in the practice of saying yes and becoming the yes to your everything. Yes, 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 thank you, love. That the state, the energetic state becomes sustainable, right? You become sustained, right? It's like suspension, right? Like that suspension, like you are suspended in this state, right? You are sustained in this state. So this is that invitation where you know that you're being called, like the invitation you had asked, you said, okay, show me, fucking show me. God, art, pussy, soul, show me the thing, show me the way, because I am not seeing it, I'm not feeling it, I'm not sensing it, I'm not tracking it, like fucking show me. And so you have been shown, and so you have shown yourself, and so you're in the showing, you're in the seeing, you're in the sensing, you're in the awareness. You are in the portal, right? The medicine, the invitation has been fucking cast, and you are there, and you get to look in and drop in and be like, okay, so here we are. Will I stay? Will I stay? Or is this going to be like, here's the thing, right? You get to choose, you get to say, right? If you've been with me a while, you know, like, I love the movie, fucking Diane Keaton and Mandy Moore, Because I Said So, right? Or Because I Say So, one or the other, right? But this is all, like, because I think about it so much with soul, I feel it so much with soul, where it's like, when you know that the decision has been made, the die has been cast, you have cast the die, you are the die, you are the casting in and of itself. You have decided, right? Why? Because you said so. Because you say this is the way it now gets to be for you. Because this is the way that you say that you now are, right? This is who you now say that you are. Like, there is no more like, oh, I wonder, should I? I'm not saying that doubts don't creep in, or fears don't creep in, or old trauma body aspects don't creep in. But when you decide, you fucking know. Like, it's just done. It's simply done. It's done. And if we're not in the practice of deciding, right? If we're not in the practice of saying, okay, there is no more, here it is. We can, and I saw someone write about, oh my God, I forget what it is. Derek Sivers was talking about Stephen Pressfield, writers, authors, yes. And talking about like the one, not like the one thing, but like the yes, like when the yes is just, when it's just done. And Stephen Pressfield was talking about like when the decision, like it's done and this is it, and like you're no more in the deciding about the deciding. Does this make sense? Like, so when you have decided, when the die has been cast, you have chosen, you have decided, you have intended that you are no longer available to stay, to remain, to play, to fuck with the energy of deciding itself. Like, oh, well, do I decide on this? Do I decide that I'm going to decide? But what happens if I decide? What happens if I make the decision? What happens if I commit? What happens if I go all in? That's not deciding. This is the back and forth, and this is the energy, this is the frequency, the push-pull, right, that we talked about last week. This is the what I call the frequency of fragmentation, where you're like, I want it, but I also don't want it, but I want this other thing, but maybe I want it, but kind of want it, I'm not quite sure if I want it, but how do I want it, right? We're done with that. When you have decided to decide, that's it. That's it. The medicine will show up in whatever way the medicine will show up once the decision has been made. But until you have decided that you are done, you're done in the back and forth. You're done like, oh, I kind of, will I do it? I'm not quite sure. Maybe, but once you're done with that and you have dropped in and you have decided and you're like, the die has been cast and I am the die and I'm the casting and it is done, and okay, like, we're open, show me, fucking show me, and here's the medicine and here we are. Whatever medicine shows up to that decision, to that energy, to the energy of you fully fucking backing soul. Until you make that decision, the energy that shows up is the energy of you being in the indecision of the deciding. The medicine that shows up will feed in, will play to, will help you to see, will help you to navigate where you are in a state of that fragmentation, in that state of the push-pull. And so every medicine that shows up is like, oh, well, I guess they want to keep playing in the indecision, so let's keep giving them medicine around indecision, around the fragmentation. When you have decided, the medicine, the invitation, the inquiries, the portals, the magic that shows up is the energy and the magic of you already having made the decision that there is no other way that it's possibly going to be. You're open to the how, you give up, you're released, you're non-attached to the how, but you are decided that the thing is yours and there is no other way that it will possibly be because you fucking say so. Then the medicine that shows up to help you stay in the backing of the decision that has made, that has been made, the die that has been cast. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? I'm fucking sweating over here. It's like 110 degrees. I mean, not inside, thank God. It's not 110 inside, but yes, yeah, okay, amazing, yeah, all right, it's fucking hot. I do get sweaty when the full-on pussy preaching fucking gets sweaty, right? All right. Any questions? Yeah, any questions? And then we're gonna talk about this kind of, yeah, the action, like the settling in and of itself, like that wavering, that settling, and then how we expand, right? Yeah, no questions? Okay, type them in, feel free to type them in if they come through. Okay, so when we are not in the deciding, when we are in the state it's kind of like the between state, right? Almost like if I mean, you have been in many different ways, whether or not you've been aware of it or awake to it, but like the rebirth portal, where we can sometimes be like, oh my God, I've been in this rebirth, and I've said this myself, and I was saying this for like most of last year, right? Oh my God, I'm in this rebirth portal, like, okay, just need that like final thing, like that's just, what's like that final like to freaking like fully come through the canal and like yes, and move back into the creation aspect of the creation cycle, right? So creation, destruction, rebirth, right? And everywhere in between. Always, right? And so we're like, okay, I'm there, I'm almost there. And it's almost like we can get into the practice of staying at the precipice, right? We can get really good at staying at the precipice, and yet and still we haven't made the decision that the precipice, like that we're through the rebirth canal, right? And so when we're in that kind of in between, we can hold a lot of mistrust in our desires, and we can still really see our desires as being separate from ourselves. We can really see our desires as being something that is like over there, not for us, not manageable, like we can see them as being like too much for us, right? Or we can see them as being like impossible in the sense that like, oh, it's illogical, or oh, I shouldn't, I can't want that yet, or oh, I don't see the how, and everything that I kind of like see around me and see within me, like it's telling me on a intellectual logical standpoint that it like I should like it's just too much and I should ask for something less than that. In the meantime, have you ever mean-timed yourself where you're like, okay, here's the thing that I know is for me, but I don't actually see how. I don't see that it's really going to be available, and so I'll go for this other thing, right? I'll go for some sort of, like an in-between desire. I will ask for and pretend like I want something that's just like halfway there. Like I'm gonna settle. I see what it is, but I don't believe I can hold it. I don't see how to hold it, and so I'm gonna go and settle for this other thing. Have you been there? Right? This kind of like, I'll take less than I want because I don't actually believe that I can have what I want, and if I ask for less, then maybe I can get that, right? Like maybe I could maybe I could get that instead, right? But then what happens is we cultivate a life of settling. We cultivate a life of asking for and only believing that we can get, right? Still seeing it as outside of ourselves, that we can get something that is not what we want, right? We cultivate a life of believing and living into an energetic state that is one of asking for something we don't even want. Like we be grateful for it, but we don't actually want that. We cultivate a life where the almost becomes our believed and perceived inevitable, right? Do you see how these match up? So if we're living into the precipice of like, I'm almost there, I'm someone who almost has the relationship, who almost has the body, who almost has the health, who almost has the business, who almost has the wealth, who almost has the understanding, who almost has the belonging and understanding, like I understand myself or they understand me or whatever it is, who almost has the community, who almost has the connection, who almost, right? If you're playing into this as like you're always at the precipice, you're always like the person who's like, oh, it's just so close. Like if it, like on your tombstone, like, oh, they got so close. So many times they got so close, right? That energy, right, it lines up so beautifully so beautifully with the energy of settling, because settling is like, oh, like I can almost have that, I can almost remember that, I can almost experience myself as that, I can almost access that, I can almost unleash that, I can almost say that thing, I can almost whatever it is, right? Do you see that connection there? And they can become so enmeshed where the life that you are desiring for yourself becomes this fantasy rather than the reality, where it's like, oh, multidimensionally I can see it, but physically I don't. I don't believe that I can. I believe that I'm almost seeing it. I believe that it's going to take some huge mystical experience before I can manifest and experience it. I believe, like, whatever it is. But then that becomes the energetic state of your life. That becomes the energetic state of you. And so then the energetic state of you becomes an energetic state of settling. And so then it's almost automatic that as soon as the desire comes in, as soon as soul is like, here's the fucking thing, you almost automatically begin to knock it down to something that feels, okay, well, this feels less. This feels manageable. This feels doable. This feels like it will be, with fewer consequences. This feels more logical. This feels whatever it is. This feels more acceptable. This feels like the people won't, say the things about me if I go for this instead of the thing that I actually know that I want. And so, the deciding. When you know that you know that you know that you know the thing that you want, and you know that you have cultivated a life, that you've cultivated an energy, that you've cultivated a state, that you've cultivated an identity or many identities where you are someone who is almost you. Yeah, we get to decide in and of itself the decision, rather than it being around a specific desire, although that is right, we get to play with the specific desires. you get to also decide. You get to also decide in this moment, and this is your invitation, to decide that you are done fucking around with the almost you. That you are done identifying, that you are done identifying as anything less than the totality of you. That you are done playing these muggle dick games with yourself and sucking and swallowing down, shoving down, forcing down the truth that you know you are in order to be or to meet or to match up with some ideal or some encoding or some aspect of your trauma body or the collective trauma body or whatever it is, and yada yada yada. The invitation then becomes, in this moment, as laid out for you, for me, for us all, to make the decision, to allow the decision, to choose that you now decide, to decide that you decide, to decide that you are done trying to figure out how to decide, and you simply decide. You are done with the almost you, you are done with the almost you, you are done with the almost you. And then you get to see what comes up. Anything that arises, any thoughts, any beliefs, any blah, 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 blah. Now you are in the energetic state of deciding, of choosing, of intending, of saying this is what it now is, simply because I am, simply because I say so. As that I am, this is what it now is. And anything that arises is now arising from the place of your deciding, not arising from the place of you figuring out, trying to figure out if you should decide, if you should decide, if you should decide, You decide, and then you live into you, who you are, in the deciding of the totality, of the fullness, of the wholeness of you. Yes? Yes. All right, that's it. Any questions? Any questions? Is that it? I'm always like, done. But I feel like, yeah. Any questions? Okay. We have started, kicked off. We are rocking and rolling with the Limitless series. If you are already in, make sure that you peep. The recording from yesterday is going to go up today, so make sure you drop in with that. There are two parts, because the signal went out yesterday. There are two parts, so make sure that you drop in with both of those. Fucking amazing. If you know that you know that you know that you are ready to do the damn thing, to be the damn thing, and you are done fucking around, and you are done sucking the muggle dip, and you are done sucking the muggle dick and genuflecting for anyone or anything, and you are ready and only ready. You are only and ever available to be the totality of that which you are, to drop fully into soul, to become the embodied evocation of your everything, everything that you know that you are, everything that you feel inside, everything that you know that you are here to express, the revolution, the joy, the pleasure, the sex, the money, the wealth, the abundance, the connection, the belonging, the everything, only and ever from soul, only and ever as soul, right? You are ready to step into this like full-on decolonized consciousness, the decolonized manifestation of that which you know that you know that you know that you know that you are. Then I invite you to come and play. And I'm going to invite you to come and play with us in Primal Provocateur. And if you are a melanated human being being that is doing the humaning, I invite you to also join us in Skin. You can check all the things at primalprovocateur.com, and then just text me or DM me over on Insta, and we can talk and we can connect and see if this is something that is going to support you and saying yes, being the fucking unapologetic yes to your everything, and where you actually hold the line on everything that you are. Not just getting inspired and being like, yeah, I'm in, let's do this thing, let's do the fucking thing. I'm talking about like you're fucking in. You're all in. You stay all in on all of you, and that is that. That is that. That is that. Yes? If you're ready for mentoring, let me know. primalprovocateur.com. We have a full VIP intensive tomorrow. So if you're like, oh shit, are we gonna kick things off like right now? Yes, join us. VIP intensive tomorrow, and then we have a full Voxer special day happening, I think, next week, in addition to all of the other embodied practices and all of the magical ways that we play. So if you know, if you feel the fucking shit, and you feel the vibe and all of the things, and you're ready to drop in, and you're like, yes, let's take this next year and drop into the magic and the wilds of your fucking soul and hold the line on everything that you know that you are right now, as of this moment, and there is nothing and no one that will ever stop you from being the totality of you from this point forward, then I invite you to come and join us. PrimalProvocateur.com. And you also get to be you. Did we mention this? Like, all of you. Not the proper, prim and proper, oh my god, this is how you make money, and this is how you make sales, and this is how you run a business, and this is how you unleash, and this is how you do the art. Blah, 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 blah. Who wants that, dude? Like, who wants that? Like, shit. Not me. Not you, if you're one of us. Come hang, come play. I don't see any questions coming through, so I love you. We'll be back soon. More live streams, all the things. Same, well, not really same bat time, same bat channel, but you know, like same here on the YouTubes. So like, subscribe, turn on your notifications and all of that shit. Shit, shenanigans. I hate closing these things. Oh my god, why am I so bad? Okay, I love you. This is it. This is it. I love you. I will see you on the next one. So much love to you. Thank you for joining. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, all the ones. God.